I'm supposed to call the meeting to order.
Well, you can't. I will. I will. Andy,
So, yes.
I'll take over. Thank you.
Taking over.
Thank you, everybody. I think Andy is in charge of establishing a quorum. Susan's counting on Zoom, so we'll know if we have a quorum shortly. First of all, I want to thank Rev. Amy for a fabulous lead-in service. It was just perfect, just perfect. I would like to share these words by Kristen Green. May our minds and hearts be opened this morning so that the day is able to blossom and flourish in life-giving ways. May we view each other as partners, comrades, friends in a journey, headed in a direction together toward wholeness. May our voices be gentle and purpose-filled. Our energy create space for everyone. May our hands open to one another as help when needed. May our values shine through our decisions and our striving made clear through our discussions. May our lives speak of a shared future where we transform the world through acts of love and justice. Blessed be. May it be so. And I'd like to, oh, the chalice got put away, didn't it? Oh, well. We're going to light our imaginary chalice.
Chalice of your heart.
The chalice of your heart. And we have some words. Please say together. We light our chalice in hope that we center love and relationship, creativity and community as we meet, in hope that we can invite into our hearts and into this space between us so much obvious respect and spacious great that no matter what happens here, we emerge connected. Thank you, everyone. Now, as a little bit of information, our annual mid-year meeting has traditionally been informational. It's kind of like the state of the congregation meeting where committees report, president reports, every faith development, everybody lets you know is what's going on in this congregation. Today we have a special congregational meeting because we need a congregational vote. As you are aware, last spring, when we came up with our budget, we had a vision. We had a space. We were going to move in September, and we'd be on our way. And we budgeted that way. And as you know, that didn't happen. So due to construction delays and increased expenses, we are over budget on our moving expenses. And so today we're going to address that because we need a congregational vote to approve these over budget expenses. And I'd like to invite Aisa and Britt up to, Aisa, our treasurer, and Britt, our finance chair, to share with them what we're talking about. Share with us what they're talking about. Wait a minute. Wait, I forgot. We have to establish a quorum. Thank you very much. Andy?
I don't have the votes on Zoom.
Okay.
I have 34 on here.
Okay, and we have 14 on Zoom, so we have a quorum. That sounds like 48. We need 46. So we have it. So, yay. All right, now we have a quorum.
Which is the first slide?
Do we have slides? Next slide.
All right, That's my slide.
Okay, so do you want to go over that?
Yeah, I'll
I
go
don't
over
think
that.
my slides are up there, but I can just say it.
Okay. All right. So there are two ways we can authorize money. One is by the congregational budget, voting for that. And the other way, how's that? The other way is through the board, as your elected representatives, can authorize certain over-budget expenses. However, that is capped at 5%. So this chart here, it shows you what the board has authorized, that's the part in white, up to this point. This next part, though, is far beyond what they are allowed to authorize. Essentially, what they've authorized so far is up to 4.8% of the budget. The worship rental space and build-out costs are what we are going to vote for. You can see we budgeted $110,000 in the budget. Our estimate is that $140,550 and change is needed, leaving $30,550 and change. And I probably should have put the next slide first. So I'm going to, this is where that number came from. These are the estimates that people put together of build-out costs, permitting costs, particular appliances that are going to need to be put in for the, and the additional rental that the delays cost us. So now you can go back, sorry. So the motion that I'd like to make is that the congregation authorize $30,550.85 to cover the additional costs that we're going to need to complete our build-out. And now I'll need a second.
We need a second.
Okay. And now I'm ready to take your questions because now we can discuss. Is that microphone available? Okay.
Please come up to the microphone if you have any questions. And on Zoom, somebody on Zoom, tell me if Zoom has, people have questions on Zoom. No discussion? Get it done. Thank you very much. David, are you coming up? Yes. This microphone, yes.
Can you tell us where the funds are coming from?
Good question.
Thank you.
The funds are basically coming from our operating reserve. The operating reserve is there to be in reserve in case of unanticipated expenses. However, there are some other things that actually Aisa could talk about next, which involves what our operating reserve is and how much money we actually do have in that. So I think those slides are ready. Nope, not there? Ah. Okay, so you can talk about it then.
So there are two
Talk.
slides.
Aisa.
There are two slides. I just sent them over. Don't know that they're going to make it, but let's see. I prepared this, and I guess without the slides it might not be, but I'll try to explain it. So as the treasurer of our congregation, I'm pleased to share with you the status of the operating reserve fund and the brief analysis of our pledge trends over the past 5 years. Understanding our financial commitments and contributions is crucial for the well-being of our community, and it's my pleasure to present this information to you. So without the benefit of this next slide, but I will describe it, we have an operating account in Bank of America that we use for our daily expenses, payroll, rent, fees that we pay to have email, web services, anything that has to do with just daily operations. That's Bank of America. That's where the money from all the pledges that we collect, any donations, goes into. When we created the budget last May, we knew that our budget versus our expected income was not going to match. We needed more money, right? Our operations say we're going to need more money than what we expect to collect. Now, how do we fund that? We have an investment account that is called a operating reserve account. That account, when we started this congregational year, had just under $147,000. Okay? Obviously, that's an investment account, so it earns interest. All right. We also have, because of the donation from the Capital Foundation, I don't want to get into too much history, we also have another account that we are able to harvest interest income on that account and bring it over to our operating reserve account, not touching the principal, the initial donation to that account. Okay, so because we knew we were creating a budget that was, going to be in a deficit, so as budgeted and needed, we transfer funds from our operating reserve account to our operating account. So operation reserve to operating account. The table shows the totals of the operating reserve account and two such events, meaning transfers. So again, in July, we ended the month of July with almost $147,000. In August, we transferred $40,000 from operating reserve to operating. That brought our August ending balance to just over $105,000, right? Because we transferred 40. Then in October, we transferred another $35,000. So at the end of October, the next slide, that one. So at the end of October, you can see because of the another $35,000 that we transferred, we ended October with just over $67,000. Now, we replenish this operating reserve account with income from our capital fund, right? So far, we've achieved 90% of our anticipated investment income for the whole year. So actually, it doesn't show it because it occurred in January. We transferred over about $44,000 from the Capital Foundation account or Capital Fund account to our reserve account. So we are going to be over $100,000 again by the end of January, okay? So we are confident that the operating reserve account can handle the additional expenses that the congregation has been asked to approve. So that's that. Let's look at the next slide, and then we can take questions. So the one with the orange bar is perfect. So this shows our pledge fulfillment comparison from July to December for the past 5 years. So the current year, 2023-2024, has seen a slight decrease in pledge fulfillment compared to the same period in the previous year. So 50% last year versus now 47%. Pledge fulfillment percentages have shown variability over the years, with fluctuations within a narrow range. So while we are less than last year, we're not terribly low compared to prior years. To help us address any challenges in pledge fulfillment, we have appointed an assistant treasurer, Rita Cherubini, to strengthen communication within the congregation and help us understand the factors influencing pledge fulfillment. Let's continue to work together to ensure the financial health and sustainability of our congregation. If you have any questions or concerns, feel free to reach out. Thank you for your continued support and dedication to our community. That's my presentation.
Amy has some questions from Zoom. Okay. We do have some questions from Zoom. Amy?
Folks on Zoom, I see them all. I'm not going to do them in the order you put them in because we're going to address this in a way that, that flows a little bit. Kat Holland asks, is there really a choice?
No.
No. Kat Holland also asks, there seems to be a disparity between the 30,000 and the 49,000.
Okay, let me address the no.
Okay.
We're in the middle of a contract. We're in the middle of construction. We have spent so much money. If we back out now, we lose all of that, as well as we are in a contract and a lease for this property. So the answer is no. There's no other choice. We have the money, and this is how we need to cover it.
So the disparity between 30,000 and 49,000. I'm not sure where that's coming from.
49,
Okay.
49,000?
Yeah, that's what.
I think what that is that it's already, we need 49,000, 15 of that has already been approved by the board.
Ah,
Something like that?
that sounds right.
Okay,
Yeah, so,
Okay, that's right.
Going back to my first slide.
yeah.
So why are we here to approve how much?
30,000,
Well, yeah, that,
yeah.
the one on.
It is moved.
I already moved it.
And it's seconded.
We're having
We're
discussion.
discussion. All right, hang on. We have,
There's,
wait a minute,
there's
please.
some more questions?
There's
some
more
more questions.
questions from Zoom.
So the 46.9 includes all of the variances that have been approved, that we're hoping to get approved. 30,550 remains to be approved.
Okay, does
Next
that make
question.
sense, Kat?
Yeah.
I can't see you, so I'm hoping so. Susan Huncosa asks, is there anything in the cost that can be put off, or is all of this needed to get the certificate of occupancy?
Drea, can you go to the next slide? So, yeah, it's possible. In fact, we had to build in a contingency here of 10%, just because we don't understand fully what's going to come up.
And we will get a certificate of occupancy and still incur expenses, like installing the screen and all those other things we have to do once we get in there to make it our space, appliances, things like that.
Kat also asks, are we still looking for a real home? Oh, yeah, every day.
Oh, yeah, every day.
Every day. Kat also asks, why are we banking with Bank of America if they're one of the big four that supports fossil fuels? And that's a discussion for a different day.
Yeah, we have talked about it.
And we will
but we
continue
will
to.
continue to talk about it.
And there's one more question so far. When will we actually move in with these additional costs? Ken and I will address that in just a minute.
We are going to give you some pictures and explanation as to where we are.
Kat says she couldn't hear the explanation of the variance. Kat, the difference is that we needed roughly 47,000 altogether. The board has already approved enough that what we need from the congregation now is 32,000 to the approval that those funds will be spent in accordance with the plan.
All right. Roy has a question.
I think there might be a few parts to this. First, assuming that we approve the 32.8 or whatever that number is, do we have any limit as to how much more per month in the future we'll be allowed to take out of the account, to put
Any-
in the operating account?
Any variances from here on out require a congregational vote because we're over the 5% that the board can.
I'm sorry, I didn't bring
Okay,
my
sorry.
adjuster for my hearing aid, so.
Any variances from here on out, which is why we put the contingency in, require a congregational vote because the board has already approved they're allowed 5%. So any further variances besides this will require another congregational meeting.
In other words, if we are short in a month, we need the congregation to approve the difference. And that's going to go on every month until our
No.
budget is back.
No, that's
No.
why we're asking for the sum that we're asking for, so that anticipated expenses are covered. We hope we don't spend all of it, but the anticipated expenses that we think are going to come up in the next few months will already be covered by this contingency and what we already know is in the budget, in the plan for this build-out, and we're entering the budget season for the next congregational year. So the hope is, the plan is, we've covered everything we can possibly think of with this request, and then we'll be moving into the budgeting season and we'll push it, whatever else we need to do, into the next budget season so we know a little bit more about what we're
You're
doing.
talking the next budget year starting July 1st?
Yes.
Okay, then, at that point, I would raise the issue of a limited amount per month that we could take to stop us from being nuts about this.
Take from what?
Pardon me?
Take, you said
Take it
limited
from
amount,
our,
operating reserve?
what do you call that?
Oh, the
campaign-
capital fund?
The capital.
Oh,
Account to the
gifts, we already have limitations as to what we are allowed to take. We can vote to put our own, but that would be for a different meeting. This is a special congregational meeting. As such, we're
No, I
limited to
understand
what's
that.
on the
I was
agenda.
talking about
In the future?
after July 1st,
Okay.
to limit that.
Yeah, we could further limit beyond the restrictions that are already on the gift.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? And we thought we were not, okay, Diane.
Hi, this is actually a small potatoes question. I noticed 2,800 for storage still owed. I thought our stuff was out of storage, or is that a bill that needs to be paid? I'm just curious.
Oh, that was already.
That was already authorized back in September.
Yeah, the board authorized that.
See the authorization date?
I just noticed the unbudgeted, so, okay.
Yeah, it still was unbudgeted, but it wasn't in the budget, but it
Right.
was authorized to pay.
Right, so it's, in short, we still owe it.
Yeah.
No, we don't.
It's
Okay.
paid. It's been paid.
It's been paid.
Back in
Anything
September.
that says board, under authorized by, it's either
It's already
already paid or the funds are set aside by the board.
Thank you.
So we're essentially talking just about that pink line.
Pink line. That's what we're looking at.
Any further discussion? Anything on Zoom?
Why the increases? What happened? It seems like a big additional expense. Can't be changed, may be needed for purchasing a permanent home. Is it warranted? We're still on Zoom. Is it warranted if we're still on Zoom? I'd like to understand. I think this is Ken and me to answer,
Okay.
okay? So can we move to that? Because that involves the slides I sent.
Seems good.
All
Yeah,
right. and
why
we'll
the
continue.
increases?
All right.
Do you want to take a vote now and then explain? Or,
There are
that
some,
doesn't sound right.
let's have this presentation so you see where we are at A9. Many of you haven't even seen this place yet. This might help you visualize what is going on in this place.
Okay. So we we entered into agreement with Park of Commerce in June of last year. This is what it looked like when we were moving in. We started taping off and measuring how we were going to make every inch of this space work. This is the office space here, the storage room as we took possession, and the blue bathroom as we took possession. You can go to the next slide, that's good. And then on September 15th, I'm going to turn this one off. When we took possession, they were saying they thought they could get all the permits and drawings and everything done across the summer, and we would be able to start the process in September. And then in August, they said, nope, we're not going to be able to do that. Everything is backed up in permitting and engineering, and so Ken negotiated with them and with the city, the town of Davie, and said, can we at least take our stuff out of storage and move it in here so we're not incurring the additional expense of storage? And they said yes, and we took delivery of our stuff. Now, remind you that our stuff came out of 4,800 square feet, and we're moving into 2,500 square feet. And so we immediately went to work. Next slide. We immediately went to work sorting stuff out. Aaron and Gary put back together the puzzle that was our scaffolding that goes in the storage unit, so we have room to store stuff. And we started digging through, you just don't want to know, boxes. And some of it was, oh, look, I've missed this. And the next one would be, oh, crap, why did we pack this? Like any move will be. Go ahead, next slide. So we continued through the mid-September to go through everything, and people were taking stuff and giving it away or taking it home and using it or finding other homes for things we were not going to keep. That's going to happen again, because as we really for real move in, we're still going to find stuff that we don't have space for and can't use. And you can't tell that Karen's holding a book up there that says The Story of Stuff. And all of us in there working kind of came to a halt and said, yes, this is our story of stuff. Down below, we have Sandy's son Holden and a friend, Seth. Holden is putting together crews of young, strong men who are high schoolers who need service hours, who are helping us move stuff, and they've helped us several times. They're going to help us again. I just got confirmation they're on call anytime. Holden will put together a team. Yes, we've got plenty of work to go around. And so it continued to be delayed. They continue to say, no, we can't do stuff. No, we can't. Next slide. And Gary came in and figured out how to take apart our old platforms, because we determined they were way too big for this space. So Gary started taking them apart and putting them back together. So now we're ready to start the slide puzzle when we can get in there and work with our stuff. You know, this congregation arrives with tools. And if we don't have the right ones, we borrow or go get. It's pretty amazing to see what we've been doing together. Next slide, please. So then they said, no, you know what, we're still not going to be able to do it. You know, we probably can't even do it. Wait, maybe. We'll get you, okay, Christmas. We'll promise you Christmas. Meanwhile, you need to cover up all your stuff because we're going to start doing drywall and all that, and it's going to mess up all your stuff. So Ken and the team tarped up piles and piles of our stuff. The stuff that was spread throughout the unit was all put in the front room so they could build the classrooms in the back and a new bathroom.
At this stage, October 7th, we were targeting Thanksgiving.
Oh, that is true. That is true. We were at October 7th, yes, they had said probably Thanksgiving. Yeah. So we tarped up our stuff and said, yay. And then we kind of started dropping in over there because I live close by and seeing what they were doing. And it was nothing. It was nothing. The permits were held up, the engineering, the drawings had to be redone 4 times, Ken? 3 times. And every time that happened, it had to go back to permitting and getting everything approved. Including one plan we drew up, they said, oh, what about these, what are these platforms? Are they professionally built? And we said, okay, nix the platforms. And they said, okay, we'll just move them until we decide we're using them. They say, oh, now your occupancy is over 100. That's a whole new set of permits. And we said, so put a platform back in the drawing. Ken said, put some tables back and call it 99. Get this done. So the next one, this is what it looked like last weekend. So after Thanksgiving, they told us Christmas. At Christmas, they told us mid-January. Now they're telling us, then they told us, yeah, for sure, February. And now, who knows? But they keep saying that once all the permits are through and inspections are done, and the first rank of inspections on this was done this week, that they can really go to town and start working. But even when they get done, remember they trenched out concrete to put in a new bathroom because we have to have 2. When they get through, we need another 10 days to 2 weeks to set up, move stuff around, put in a screen, run, even if we run cables temporarily for sound and all of that, that still takes time to get it done, especially with all of the remarkable teams of volunteers that are showing up to help us get this done. So this is where we are with it right now. You're looking through what will be a wall into where our stuff is still covered with plastic. 2 classrooms, a new bathroom, a kitchenette, and a closet in the office. Back door opened up for fire safety, and the storage is pretty much in order. That is where we are. It has been, you know those horror movies where somebody's running down a hall trying to get to a door to safety, and the door just keeps moving farther and farther away? That's what it's been like for the folks who've been working on this, trying to get it done. And I have witnessed our brother Ken Bresnahan in the same phone call be sweet and mean, trying to get this moving. The additional expenses are the time, the rounds of permits, the rounds of drawings, and I will just tell you personally, I needed a piece of plywood for something at my home, and the plywood I was used to buying for $40 a sheet is $80 a sheet. So during the pandemic, building supplies went up because of supply chain. The actual costs are going down, but nobody's going to lower prices because they know we're going to have to pay it now because we're used to it. So all of those expenses went up and up and up, including delivery and including labor costs. The original cost for that new bathroom was astronomical. And Steve the builder, who is our general contractor with the landlord, got it bargained down some to help us get it within something that's handleable. So if you look at how the budget's working, please know that everybody working on this has sharpened their pencils again down to a nub, trying to get this within a workable number. And the other truth is, we continue to add expenses for renting this place. That's another expense line that continues to go up. And we were going to have our 25th anniversary celebration in our new space. And now we've had to rent 3 venues to get that done. One for Friday night, one for Saturday night, and Sunday morning. So all of these things, and those aren't going down either. Old Davie School is raising its prices too. So that's where the extra expenditures come from. No, that is not a new floor, but once the construction's done, the floors will be attended to by the landlord. Should we consider just Zooming and not continuing the rental in the meantime? David, I appreciate that sentiment, and I understand the need to think about saving dollars, but there's penny wise and pound foolish, and we're not just talking about money, we're talking about our spirit. We're talking about our resilience. We're talking about making new maps as we go, and that would save us some money, but it could cost us a whole lot more. So my vote for that would be no. I need to be in here with you, especially after all that time that we could not. And we love all y'all that come on Zoom and understand that that's a really good option for a lot of folks. And we are grateful that it's going to be part of our lives forever. Forever. We do, okay, y'all cover me with good wishes and energy right now. We really do think that we will get this done by the end of February. Hey, it ain't me that's got it. It's everybody. It's everybody that's been working on this all the way through and making it work and making new maps as we go. So I really do think, that's the general consensus, is February really does feel like maybe they mean it this time because they can. And so we will look forward to March. And we even considered getting it partially done and meeting in there anyway. But see, then there will be dust, construction dust, and as long as it's a construction zone, we're not covered with liability insurance, and paint fumes and other things that could put our folks at risk. And we decided it was not worth it to try to go part way and move in, to go ahead and try to do it partially.
I can appreciate all the work that's gone in, and I think we can see from the description what the problems have been. I'm wondering if it's time to call question for the vote and if people want more detail about the process, do that at another time. So if it's appropriate, I call question.
Well, we could probably call the question if there's no further discussion. Okay, we have a discussion. So this is a motion to call the question. Do I hear an aye vote for that? Aye. Opposed? All right.
I just have a clarification question. Are all the permits, engineering, and all of those completed?
No.
Nobody knows.
No, we have, all right, hang on a
At
second.
each stage, there is a new round of inspections, and each new round of inspections could yield a new problem that would then have to be fixed. Hey, listen, I heard from a colleague of mine this week, they just built a whole brand new building, and they actually had services in there. This is in Texas. They actually had services in there, and then it comes across Facebook on Thursday, we failed our inspections, we're back on Zoom. And they have a brand new building. We're back on Zoom until further notice.
Yeah, and there will be final inspections, and there's still a number of inspections coming up. Rebecca, I think we're getting antsy here.
Just a quick comment for any of you who have not moved recently. I moved cross-country 7 years ago. This is what happens. There's always contingency. There's always greater cost than you think. There's always more than you budgeted. There always happens. And we're this close to the finish line. This is not the time to stop. This is the time to just drive through it, keep on going, hang on to each other, and go.
And folks, we have the money. Do you know how lucky we are, how blessed we are, how hard everybody in this room has worked to be sure that we have the money? How wonderful is that? There are congregations that do not. They face a roadblock and they're done. We are making those switchbacks and carrying on.
Now, we have a motion on the floor to approve a specific amount, and I can't read it.
$30,550.85.
That's the motion. That's the second. Second. We have a second already. All those in favor say aye. Aye. If you're on Zoom, you can vote via chat.
Elise, and yes. Current total, the current total is $30,550.85. Everybody on Zoom is saying yes? 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 Any more on Zoom? Total for the project, We don't know we won't know that till we get there, Kat.
Can somebody? Catchy? All right,
No, we're approving $30,550.85. That's what the congregation is approving. Okay, yes?
Catchy,
The
you're
total
right
for the
there.
go ahead. Yes, here we go. I'm scrolling. So far,
Right.
yes.
Any opposed? Anybody on Zoom opposed?
Anybody on Zoom opposed?
Any abstentions?
Anybody on Zoom abstaining?
By God, you guys did it. Thank you. Thank you very much. Now, just a couple things before we take care of this. We got the we are looking for a media team to help put together our communication. Please contact me if you're available. And the other question is, what can you do to help out? Once we get that okay to move our stuff in, we're going to need manpower, even if it's an hour or two to unpack something. Woman power, thank you. People power. You know, stop by, unpack a box. Stop by, wash a countertop. Whatever. Please consider what you can do. You do not have to commit a whole day, but we do need the energy and the people power. So, with that, we're extinguishing our chalice. Shine on. And do I hear a motion to adjourn? So, all right, third and fourth, motion carries. Thank you so much.
Love y'all.